Welcome into Clippers Countdown as your 32-28 LA Clippers close out their 8-game road trip, where they haven't exactly been road warriors, as they are just 2-5 with one game to go tonight against a team in the Phoenix Suns who's had their number this season, winners of all three matchups thus far. And even with the Suns struggling to find their wins lately, just 3 in their last 14 games, when they have played the Clippers, they seem to always burn them with hot shooting performances. So the Clippers, they're going to have to get their best shot tonight, I'm sure. These Phoenix Suns, this is what they do. They have been hot against the Clippers. That means the Clippers have to recapture their defensive identity, because they're not just missing shots right now since the All-Star break. They're defending like a bottom 10 team in the league. And during a time like this, when they're missing Norm, DJ, Ben Simmons, they just have to find a way to get by doing what they do best, getting in a defensive stance and taking the challenge of staying in front of their man, because things get more challenging in the West with the surging Golden State Warriors now, who have pushed the Clippers into the play-in tournament currently. So if they want to truly stay out of that and be a playoff team, they need to treat these final 22 games of the season like the tournament has already started, because in essence, in some ways, it has. Tip-off from Phoenix between the Clippers and the Suns is just about 60 minutes away. Coming up, we got Coach Lou on the pregame show, plus La Murray of The Athletic will be here. But up next, it's your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Phoenix taking on the Suns. Tip-off is just about 58 minutes away. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. Still to come, you're going to hear from the head coach in Teron Lou, but let's get out to Phoenix and get to your radio voice.
Adam, I am closer to the sun. I am an hour ahead, so I have to stay hydrated because the end is closer here. But I'm good. Other than that, I'm good. We got a little 8 o'clock tip local time, so a long day here for your Clippers. But other than that, ready to get this one going. Front end of a back-to-back. Adam, if you want to get positive, if you want to get specific, the last 8 times the Clippers played the Suns, in which it was a front end of a back-to-back, they won.
Let's
There you
go.
There you go. That's what I got for you. That's all I got.
Take that, Suns. I know they're quivering in their boots right now. Okay, let's go back to what happened on Sunday. It was the second game in a row against the Lakers, and the Clippers unfortunately fell one more time. What did you see near the end of that second quarter, Carlo, where they went over 7 minutes without making a field goal?
I just felt like in that game, Adam, when they were unable to get the offense going late, they were really unable to move the ball efficiently on the offensive end and get good looks. Felt like it was a lot of late shot clock opportunities for that team, unable to get out chances when the clock was at 10 or 12, but rather it was, oh, shoot, there's 5 on the shot clock. Let me hurry up and look for an opportunity to try to do it ourselves. And for the Clippers, initiating offense early has been a successful thing for them throughout the entire season. Ty Lue, I remember even going back to last year, we mentioned 17 seconds. We want to get into our actions with 17 seconds on the shot clock because our offensive, in terms of points per possession, jumps through the roof when the Clippers have more opportunities to get to their third and second actions on their offensive sets. This Clipper team, they have to take advantage of the freebies. They're the second oldest team in the NBA, but they average, Adam, the 5th most fast break points a ball game. We'll see if this team can get out and run against their opponents.
Yeah, and speaking of the positives, we saw Kawhi Leonard be at his best so far this season in game 20, 33 points, and only needing 23 shots to get there. He was efficient. He had some of his more explosive movements later in the game in the fourth quarter. He played 40 minutes for the first time since late 2023. Yeah. I'm at least very excited about the prospects of Kawhi moving forward here, Carlo.
Adam, he had his best game, and he did it the Kawhi way. I think that was the most impressive part of Leonard's performance. Got to the mid-range, knocked down shots, which was efficient, like you mentioned in that ball game, and able to do it in isolation. It's his most minutes since January 3rd of last year. It's his most points since February 2nd of last year. So really a vintage Kawhi game for the Clippers, and that's what they need. At the end of the day, Adam, if the Clippers finish with a 6 seed and a healthy Kawhi, I think you can chalk up this season to a success. I think a lot of people would say they have done what the expectations were, and so for this Clipper group, they're right there. They're a winning streak away from being in the 6th, maybe even the 5th spot in the Western Conference. Now can you start to put the puzzle pieces together? Another great individual performance for the Clippers, but unable to come away with a victory.
Yeah, one of those pieces, James Harden, just 9 of 36 over the weekend against the Lakers, just 4 of 14 in their 108-102 loss to them on Sunday. Just feels like James Harden could maybe use a little bit less on his plate right now. Maybe Kawhi can help in that area, and therefore he can have fresher legs out there.
Yeah, and Ty Lue mentioned that in his press conference. He said that you can clearly see the fatigue in the way James plays. He's trying to force things at times, looking to be aggressive on the offensive end, but unable to get his legs underneath him, really carry the Clippers for the first 50 games of the year. And Adam, if you look at the month of February, just in that month, 38% of the Clippers offense, whether it was assists or made field goals, came from James Harden. That was the 4th most in the league by an individual player. So here in February, he is still doing it in terms of overall offensive production at a top 5 level for this Clipper team. How can they find ways to take that pressure off of him? I think somebody like Kawhi Leonard getting back to his peak, the peak of his powers, will be a huge, huge advantage for James Harden to be able to take his foot off the gas. And Adam, the Clippers also got here to Phoenix a little early. Harden has a house out here in Scottsdale. They were able to take all of yesterday after flying out after the last game. Maybe this Arizona weather, this Phoenix heat, rejuvenating the beard in his ASU colored shoes tonight here at PHX Arena in downtown Phoenix.
I like it. Could be a little bit recharged out there. Yeah. We know no Norman Powell, at least for the next handful of games, as he's going to be reevaluated in 10 days after that hamstring injury, which took him out after the first quarter on Sunday. But somebody like Bogdan Bogdanović, I felt like he nailed a couple of three-pointers late in that ball game in the fourth quarter. You know, no one guy can make up for the lost production without having Norman Powell. We have seen that. But maybe Bogey can knock down some more three-pointers and find a rhythm. That would really help not having Norm right now.
Yeah, and it feels like, Adam, Ty Lue mentioned in his press conference that they'll probably go to Bogdanović to start today. And last time Bogey started, he mentioned post-game, he felt like he was pressing a little bit. Like this was an opportunity to show what he is able to do for the Clippers. But Ty Lue mentioned, look, we just need him to play his brand of basketball, to play freely and not work through that mental block that has seemed to be in his head since the start of the season. Obviously, he went through a lot in Atlanta, where he was away from the team for personal reasons, unable to get into a regular rhythm. This is the first time he's playing consistent NBA minutes at him since January. It pretty much took a significant portion of the month of February off. Bogdanovich getting hot for the Clippers is going to be key because, as you pointed out, teams are shooting the lights out from the three-point line. The Clippers picked up a career good three-point shooter. Can Bogey balance that out a little bit with his three-point shooting?
See if we get some bogey ball in Phoenix tonight. Clippers taking on the Suns. Carlo Jimenez is on the call. Tip-off is just about 52 minutes away. Coming up next, Carlo's got his one-on-one with your head coach and Tyronn Lue right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Suns from Phoenix. Tip-off just about 50 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. Still to come, your players to watch. We'll also go back in time in Clippers Rewind and talk with La Murray of The Athletic. But first, let's head back over to your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez.
Thanks so much, Adam. Here with head coach Tyronn Lue before the Clippers take on the Phoenix Suns. Coach Kawhi is able to play 40 minutes, 33 points last game. What did you like out of his performance?
The way he attacked, the way he got to the rim, got to the free throw line. And I also liked how he crashed the offensive glass, just, getting some offensive rebounds. I think he had 4. But just his aggression, the way he was attacking the rim, attacking the basket, and getting to his spots.
When you are switching Zoo so much on the perimeter, do you need more rebounding from the rest of the group?
Yeah, we do. I thought, like I said, going into it, the game plan was good. And we talked about those guys and we had to be better. Like, we turned, we hit, we didn't check, we didn't pursue, we wasn't physical enough. We was able to get a lot of offensive rebounds. But I thought Zoo did a great job, like I said, of guarding those 2 premier players, one-on-one. And so we got to do a better job rebounding the basketball.
Just 2 more for you. You got Jordan Miller and Kobe Brown some minutes in that game for an extended run. What were you looking for out of them, and did you get what you wanted?
Just to build confidence, we're going to need those guys with, so many bodies being down. And KD had got in foul trouble. Kawhi, of course, with his minute restriction. Norm went out in the first quarter, so we didn't have a lot of bodies with DJ and Ben being out as well. So all these young guys are going to get opportunities. Just got to be ready to play and play with confidence.
These are two teams, Phoenix and you guys, are seemingly going through lulls in their season. Obviously, it's a long season. Whether as a player, as a coach, was there anything you did to reset during the 82-game schedule?
No, I think when you go through tough times, like you said, I think losing 5 out of our last 6, you got to be ready to do whatever it takes to win. And so you can't, feel sorry for yourself. You got to play through it. You got to handle that adversity. And in order to do that, you got to be the harder playing team.
Thank you so much. Best of luck.
Yeah,
Adversity reveals character. There was Coach Lou pregame with Carlo Jimenez as we get set for the Clippers in Phoenix taking on the Suns. Tip-off just about 46 minutes away. Up next, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Phoenix taking on the Suns. Final meeting between these two in the regular season here. Still to come here, our Clippers Countdown. We will get to your player to watch. And Law Murray of The Athletic will be here. But first, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind, back to May 1st of 2006. Top of the box office was United 93, along with RV and Silent Hill. Top of the Billboard charts was Bad Day by Daniel Powder. And the Clippers were in a Game 1 against the Phoenix Suns in the second round.
This is Elton Brand with that mid-range jump shot, which he has really sharpened this year. Brand.
He's going to work now. Elton Brand into a rhythm.
Corey Maggette is in, got the feed, and a beauty it was from Elton Brand. And Maggette is heard from very quickly off the bench. Look at the speed of the Clippers the other way. They've got another gear, and Elton Brand finishes the break well.
Elton Brand wants that ball on the block.
Over Marion. Dia, great move on Keenan. Rejected by Brand. And here comes Ross with Cassell, but Phoenix back on defense. Cassell hits it 4 in a row.
That's caused the big number 42 in there right there wearing this red jersey. There's no answers for him.
On Brand. He is unbelievable. 15 of 18, Elton Brand. Bell back to Diaz. Rejected by Brand. Another block for Elton. A breakaway with Livingston the other way for the Clippers.
See that speed, and that's not a good prescription, even when you've got Elton Brand in the post looking for his 40th point here, which he gets.
How about that?
And the incredible three-point shooting. That's the recipe for a big win here to go up 1-0.
Maggette for three. And Corey Maggette has 20 points. Brand had 40, but it wasn't enough.
This is how much the game has changed. Doug Collins there talking about incredible three-point shooting. Phoenix hit 12 threes. That's like below league average per game now. And while Brand had 40 and 4 blocks and Cassell had 28 and Maggette had 20 and the Clippers shot 60% from the field, they were on the wrong side of the analytics game. They only hit 4 threes to the 12 made by the Phoenix Suns, who would win 130-123 in game 1 back in 2006, thanks to 31 from Steve Nash. Coming up next, your player to watch. Clippers, Suns, tipping off just 41 minutes from now, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Suns from Phoenix. Tip-off is just 37 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. Welcome back in. It's Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. And still to come, we got La Murray joining us from Phoenix, from The Athletic. But first,
this is LA Clippers basketball.
Watching this guy play right now is really something.
Players to watch.
watching the bearded wonder in this ball game in James Harden. After a weekend to forget, where he went just 9 of 36 from the field against both games against the Lakers. That is 25% from the floor. He's been this team's MVP this season. Where would they be without him? But it's probably time, with how taxing it's been on him, to maybe let Kawhi Leonard shoulder the scoring load some. He did have 33 points on Sunday, Kawhi. He played 40 minutes. He looked very good. The restriction is off. So hopefully Kawhi is back to looking like Kawhi every game out there. And that means James Harden shouldn't have to do as much. Should actually help his efficiency because he'll have fresher legs out there. Won't be as fatigued. Won't have those mental miscues with turnovers at times late in games. It should help in every way. The usage rating should go down. I want to see what happens in this ball game if they play through Kawhi Leonard a little bit more and James Harden plays off ball more. That's kind of how he got so hot for 20 points in the third quarter against the Chicago Bulls, playing just like that. James Harden, my player to watch tonight. Coming up next, as we get set for the Clippers in Phoenix, taking on the Suns, we'll get to your complete injury report right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Suns from Phoenix. Tip-off is just 33 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown. Still to come, we got Lob Murray joining us from The Athletic. But first, let's get your injury report brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, download the app today and use code KLAC to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Well, the news came out a little bit earlier on Norman Powell. That right hamstring strain he suffered in the first quarter on Sunday will be reevaluated in 10 days from now. As for Ben Simmons, Coach Lou said pregame it's not looking good for him playing tomorrow either with that left knee soreness. Derek Jones Jr. is still out with right groin soreness for the Clippers. As for the Phoenix Suns, Bradley Beal looks to be available tonight in this one. Maybe the Phoenix Suns saw, hey, Kyrie Irving unfortunately tore his ACL. The Dallas Mavericks might fall out of the play-in picture, and we can take that 10th spot. They're just 3-11, though, their last 14 games. The Suns have been struggling. Defensively, they've been the worst team in the league over that span. Coming up next, we got La Murray of The Athletic. Clippers and Phoenix taking on the Suns. Tip-off 32 minutes away here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Suns from Phoenix. Tip-off just 29 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Osland. Welcome back in. Coming up, more from Carlo Jimenez, plus your look around the league. But first, back out to Phoenix and back to La Murray of The Athletic here on the pregame show on Clippers Countdown. Well, thanks for doing this, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me, Brett.
Let's talk here about the injury report, since that was the last thing I just discussed. So, reevaluated in 10 days when it comes to Norman Powell. Coach Lou didn't sound hopeful when it came to Ben Simmons returning soon. Do we know anything more about DJ? Is he just day-to-day?
He's day-to-day. I mean, I talked to Derek Jones Jr. this morning and asked him about what he's dealing with. He was on the court pregame trying to see how he's doing with Maggie Bryant, who Maggie Bryant has dealt with every soft tissue injury there is. So, as far as this Clippers team. And so there's a chance that he plays tomorrow. Better chance than anybody else. We know Norm won't be there. We know Ben won't be there. I mean, T-Lou's rarely that forthcoming when it comes to his day-to-days, but he pretty much let us know what's going on there. Kawhi's not going to play tomorrow. This is a playoff game. It's national TV against a divisional opponent that has beaten the Clippers 3 straight times. Going for a sweep of them. It's about pride. So as far as Derek Jones Jr. goes, it's difficult that he's not able to go tonight, but they need somebody to play tomorrow. So we'll see if he's feeling good. It's encouraging that he's even on this trip. Again, they were just in Southern California. To fly here and to have him here, even though they knew he wasn't going to play, is an effort to get him possibly to play tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. There's not a lot of people on this trip. I don't think Norm's here. Ben's not here. Derek is here. I think that's encouraging for tomorrow. That's about the only encouraging thing from an injury standpoint with this team.
This is bobblehead night tomorrow too. Plus, he's got the.
I told him, man. So many dudes miss their bobblehead night on this team. It might as well be a voodoo doll night.
Oh, yeah. There's been some pins in it. Unfortunately for him, that's what he's dealing with right now. That groin strain. Is it the similar injury he had earlier this season? Has it been lingering?
I mean, he didn't earlier this season. That was a hamstring, and I was shocked when he came back from that. When he did,
yeah,
I thought he was certainly going to miss his homecoming in Dallas, and he did not want to miss that. And shout out to him because it gave me a great story to write when he played in Dallas and got a tribute video. I'm a fan of Derek Jones Jr. He's been awesome to talk to. He's been incredible on the court. He's made a real impact in this locker room because guys love him, and so don't miss him tonight for sure.
Let's go back to Sunday, Law. Is it as simple as that 7.5-minute stretch at the end of the first half that did the Clippers in against the Lakers? How'd you read that game?
Yeah, that 7.5-minute stretch was about as gross as you've seen all season in any game, regardless of personnel. 7.5 minutes of being unable to draw a foul, make a layup, get an open shot, and just fall into a basket. Like, it's embarrassing, to be honest with you. It's hurtful when you wind up losing a clutch time game. That's very tough to see. So, but the other side of it is the Clippers' 3-point differential. They give up threes. They let the wrong guys get comfortable, and they're not making enough of them. Their on-ball guys aren't creating enough of them. Their on-ball guys aren't making enough of them. Their off-ball guys are not making enough of them. I think what was encouraging is they generated a lot of threes, more than you're used to. So guys just have to knock them down. I think the volume certainly helped because that kept them from getting blown out. They gave themselves a chance to win that game despite the lead that the Lakers built and the fact that they went 7.5 minutes without scoring at all. I always track the droughts, the scoring droughts, and beyond that, the field goal droughts. I think it's important for a team to beat a live defense and see the ball go in. And so those are things I pay attention to, along with runs and along with who's in the game, obviously. So to build off of that, the only thing the Phoenix Suns do at a respectable level is shoot the basketball.
Yeah.
The only thing. If this was truly a make or miss league, the Suns would be contenders. They are obviously not. They're in the bottom 5 of their conference right now. It's embarrassing considering the amount of games that Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal have played. And so that's why I say it's not a make or miss league. It's more than that. Of course, you want to put the ball in the basket, but you have to give yourself opportunities to do that, and you have to prevent other teams from getting extra opportunities. And that's where the Clippers are going to have to focus on because they're not going to be able to outshoot the Phoenix Suns.
You mentioned how much they've struggled shooting-wise, especially as of late. We know how much they missed Norman Powell. How good would it be for Bogey to actually have a big shooting night in this one? It just seems like he's chasing, finding that rhythm out there, and they need him bad.
Well, here's my thing, man. Bogey making shots is one thing. I don't think that's the most disappointing part or the weakest part of his time with the Clippers so far. It's the fact that he does not generate shots for himself. Like he doesn't get to the paint. He doesn't he made 4 threes Sunday. You want that. You know what I mean? He made 4 out of 11 threes at that's a respectable percentage. That's a great volume for any player, let alone a non-star. They need more than that. They need him to get buckets. They need him to be able to make shots that he can create on his own, to step inside the three-point line and find something that works for him. That has been a real struggle. He missed every single shot. He didn't get to the free throw line. If it wasn't a three-pointer, I believe Sunday. I'm not looking at the stats. I just was at the game. So, especially with Norman about to miss the next 7 games, possibly 8, they need Bogdan to find a way to be a more efficient scorer and a more voluminous scorer. The encouraging thing is he's going to get shots and he's going to keep shooting. I think that he's wired to do those things. I'm not worrying about Bogey having issues with confidence, and that's a good thing. Now, the next step is don't just make the shots that are created for you or just make threes. He's got to be able to, beat these weaker defenders a lot better than he has so far.
Yeah, that's a good point. We did see Kawhi Leonard. I don't know if that was a flip the switch moment or just a hot game. Do you think off the minutes restriction, we're going to see a lot more of like what we saw on Sunday from Kawhi now?
Hey, what do we talk about for months? The checklist, right? Coming back to practice, coming back to games, playing in a way that is consistent and showing that you can increase your minutes and workload. And now the first game he played in March, the very first game he plays in March, he plays nearly 40 minutes and he has his first 30-point game in a calendar year. Like, he's ready as far as I'm concerned. The urgency that he played with, just like I said, Bogey didn't make a single basket inside the three-point line. I mean, Kawhi was getting to the basket, hitting the floor, hitting the paint, getting to the rim. Those are the things that you want to see. It's also the things that scare the hell out of you because you know that you're holding your breath every time Kawhi takes any level of contact. When Kawhi missed all those free throws Friday night, he said that he'll be okay. He just needs to get his repetition. And, of course, he goes and he was better. He wasn't perfect, but he was better Sunday. The Clippers need about 10 more of those performances. Yeah. I'm not exaggerating or sugarcoating. They need Kawhi to be like the player that we discussed that he needed to be. Like, the player that is consummate of the contract that he is playing on. They can't have him being Chris Middleton, So if you see that version of Kawhi like once a week for the rest of the season, that might be good enough. But especially with James clearly flagging, with Norm unavailable, and with every other player in the team severely limited, they need Kawhi to be the player that they waited for.
There was a game against Utah where the Clippers won and Kawhi took less than 10 shots. This might have been 3 weeks ago now, and he expressed how he's not sure exactly where he fits in right now. Do you think the rest of the team knows this is Kawhi's squad? Now that he's back, now that minutes restriction is off, we got to play through him more, Law?
I mean, they don't have a choice. Like, it would be nice if it was an option. They don't have a choice. There's no shot creators on this team.
Do you think James feels like we don't have a choice?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with James is James just has to be better, period. Like, the turnovers, the three. Look, James is a barometer for this basketball team. When James is great, when James is efficient, when James keeps his mistakes to a minimum, this team wins. They've won one game since the All-Star break. That one game wasn't even a completely good game from James. They built a double-digit lead. They blew it. And then James came out with an outstanding third quarter, and then he had to apply the dagger to complete that game. He has not played, the closest he's come to playing a fully good game other than that was the Pacers game, where he went in there, he dropped 30-some points, but the Clippers didn't defend at all on the front end of a back-to-back. So, I mean, it's not all on James. Like, it's a team when it comes to the things like defense, but it is on James when it comes to taking care of the basketball, playing possession through possession, Mike Brown style, and just being better, when he's got shots created for him, knocking those down, and, understanding if he's not beating someone, move off the ball, get it back, stuff like that. I think James is very important to this team. But that also means that when James plays poorly, this team can't survive it. And James can't play, it doesn't survive it. There's been some games where, Friday night, if James plays better with the bench, they win that game.
Yeah.
So we'll see how James and Kawhi continue to work together, how James continues to implement Zoo, and how James gets a guy like Bogdanovic to consistently raise his level of play. There's a lot of factors going on that need to be better for the Clippers, and that's what makes you uneasy about the Clippers, because when there's so many X factors, it's just there's too many things that can go wrong.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts right now. Last one for you, since you just brought it up. You've asked Coach Lou before about getting Ivica Zubac more involved. They've stressed it at times. At times, he's also said, well, they're playing small, they're doubling. Is that what you saw for the reason that he only got up 9 shots on Sunday?
I mean, the Lakers have been an outstanding team, arguably the best team in the league since January 20th in terms of limiting points in the paint. So I wasn't surprised that the Lakers were going to nail down and do that, because we saw it in February. Zoo had an outstanding game in January against the Lakers. The next time they played it into a dome, they made sure if it's Zubac, if he was going to touch it, he was going to feel all kinds of bodies. Like Tyronn Lue spoke about that Sunday. He said after the game that if it's Zubac, those touches that he got, the Lakers on Friday were late with their doubles. They made sure to double them earlier. They made sure to make Zoo adjust to them. They've had 2 different game plans defensively, and I will always say the most difficult thing about Zoo in terms of featuring him is that this isn't a video game, and that Zoo's hit box is limited. So if you're going to post him, then the reason why teams have over the last 5 to 10 years looked at analytics and said we're not going to feature the post as much is because it's easy to stop it. To be honest with you, it's easy to live with it. It's like a guy's going to be in the post, dribble. You're not getting a lot of possessions, and you're probably just getting 2 points out of it, especially a guy like Zoo who doesn't draw fouls. Even when Zoo has his best games, he's not getting a lot of free throw attempts. I think he went to the line, 1 trip on Friday, even though he took 15 shots. That's a terrible free throw attempt rate. So, Zoo has been outstanding. He has gotten the very most out of his ability, but I think there's a limit to what Zoo can do. And when it doesn't work, that's what makes guards like James Harden and coaches like Tyronn Lue try and go somewhere else with their offense.
He is Lob Murray of The Athletic, covering the Clippers in Phoenix as they're taking on the Suns tonight. And we got tip-off just 16 minutes away. Well, my guy, thanks for doing this once again here on Clippers Countdown.
Hey, thank you. Enjoy the games.
Coming up next, we'll get to an NBA out-of-town scoreboard. Don't have great news right now with what's going on in New York between the Knicks and the Warriors. We'll tell you more coming up next here on Clippers Countdown on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Suns from Phoenix. Tip-off 13 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. Coming up, we got Carlo Jimenez. But first, let's get your drive around the league. Brought to you by Toyota's electrified lineup, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, all electrics, and even fuel cell electric vehicles, so you can choose exactly the type you need for your lifestyle. We make it easy. Well, currently, the Golden State Warriors lead the Knicks 105-93 with 2:39 left. Looks like they're headed for a victory thanks to 25 from Steph Curry. 6 boards, 6 assists as well. It was a game-time decision. He's putting in that work. They're going to improve to 34-28. Therefore, even with Clippers' victory tonight, they will still be in that play-in position as Golden State is currently in the 6th spot in the West, right in front of them. The Atlanta Hawks trail with 15 seconds left by 5 to the Milwaukee Bucks, 126-121. Giannis Antetokounmpo has got 26, 11, and 10 for the triple-dub. Trae Young with 28 and 13 assists, as it looks like Milwaukee's improving to 35 and 25 on the season. End of the third quarter in Minnesota as the Timberwolves up 83-80. Jaden McDaniels has 15 and 4 blocks. Quentin Grimes, another great trade there, Nico. Thanks, Nico. 76ers trailing by 3, but Quentin Grimes has 26 and 3 steals. Let's see if the 76ers can help out the Clippers once more. That would be big. Clippers, Suns from Phoenix. Tip-off just 11 minutes away. Coming up next, back to your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Suns from Phoenix. Tip-off just 9 minutes away. Coming up, we'll get to your keys to victory, but first, back out to your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. All right, Carlo, what's been the biggest issue with this Phoenix Suns funk they've been in over the last month and a half or so?
Defense. They are last in the NBA in defense in the last month of February, Adam. They allowed 121 points per 100 possessions, which is very, very towards the bottom of the NBA in that category. That really has been the biggest issue for this group. They've just been unable to slow teams down on that end. And then in the other end, Adam, they're a team that relies on jump shots. They're number 1 in the NBA in jump shots made. They are second to last in points in the paint. They have to get hot if they want to win games. The Clippers know very well that when you make 23 threes in a contest, you can win some ball games. Just like last time we were in this building, the Clippers have to be wary of Phoenix jump shooting.
So what's the buzz? What's the vibe there in Phoenix right now with all the rumors swirling about KD? And it sounds like he'll be moved this summer. Don't worry. It's like, okay, great. Is that really the solution to everything? How are the fans feeling there in Phoenix about this situation where a team so talented is underachieving this much?
Yeah, I think people are pretty bummed, but they're optimistic and talking to people around the organization, knowing there's 20 games left, Adam, and people here in this building. It is interesting because it's the somewhat opposite of what the Clippers are going through right now in the terms of, you look at ESPN or Fox or any website you want to go off of in their preseason rankings, right? Phoenix was top 10 unanimously across every preseason ranking that was out there. And so this is a group that had all the expectations in the world and now has won since the Clippers last saw them, Adam, on January 27th. They've won 4 games. They've gone 4-12 in that stretch. So they have really struggled it, and it's kind of bottomed out here as of late. People are optimistic. Maybe they can turn it around. Maybe they can get in the play-in and hope for maybe, a run at a 6 seed. But at some point, they have to string wins together, and they've just been unable to do that through this last month and a half headed here into March. A group that continues, to have the ability and the personnel to put it together. But Tyus Jones came out of practice yesterday, Adam, and said, sometimes we have a really close group, and sometimes when you're really close, it's hard to have hard conversations. Mike Budenholzer did say in his pregame press conference that he feels like their locker room is no different than any other locker room, and then they can have those hard conversations. But it was interesting hearing that from a player's perspective, that it feels like the Suns have dealt with this idea of, we know we're bad. We have yet to face that reality internally within the group. Kevin Durant, after the last game, being very outspoken, saying, we embarrassed ourselves. I want us to be better. We need to be better. We embarrass the fans. And while they have this continued, repeated message of, we want to be better, the play on the floor has not reflected that as of late for Phoenix.
So this Clippers team needs a victory desperately. The Phoenix Suns need victories desperately. This could be a good one tonight. Quickly, Carlo, your player to watch. I'm not exactly hurting for a streak here. I had, Kawhi on Sunday, Zubats on Friday. Tonight, I'm going with James Harden. Who do you got?
I'm going Chris Dunn. Give me Chris Dunn. Was in the running for Defensive Player of the Month. Lost that to Chumani Kamara. But the Clippers can hopefully turn this Phoenix team over a bunch. Phoenix does not force a lot of turnovers. They're second to last in the NBA in turnovers forced. So if the Clippers can win the turnover battle, they have a good opportunity to win the ball game. Give me KD.
Carlo Jimenez on the call. Different KD. It's the Clippers taking on the Suns in Phoenix. Tip-off just minutes away. I'm Adam Oslin, and coming up next, we got your keys to victory right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. All right, I got you, Miss Shakes. I got you. I'm going to play the video right here, right now. This is an example of things that happen way too much when it comes to Ivica Zubac. I got you. I'm going to play it right here. I'm going to make you go through all this. I'll make this easy for everybody. This is the stuff I'm talking about. This cannot continue to happen. Let's see here. First quarter action. Clippers down 15-11 on Sunday. James Harden gets a screen from Ivica Zubac. Look who Ivica Zubac has on him. Luka Doncic, sealing his man. For whatever reason, James elects to take a step-back three-pointer here. While Kawhi's on the floor, Norman Powell's out there, nobody else is going to touch the basketball. Ivica Zubac has the mismatch with Luka Doncic and eventually just gives up. Has to spin out of the paint. This is what I'm talking about. He's asking for the ball. He's asking for it right here. Like, all this narrative stuff about Ivica Zubac not being aggressive enough, I've seen this. This is not an isolated thing.
51 rows of uninterrupted seats in the wall. Be sure to take it all in and experience the NBA.
Clippers and Phoenix, tip-off just moments away. Let's get you your keys to victory. Well, Carlo nailed it. The Phoenix Suns have not been a good defense, worse in the league over their last 14 games, 30th in defensive rating. The Clippers have to find their offense. To do so, they got to play through Kawhi Leonard more. He's their superstar. We saw it on Sunday against the Lakers. He looked like the best player on the court. That's the guy that can raise your ceiling. Get it to him. I want to see 20 shots minimum from Kawhi Leonard in this ball game, especially because they don't have Norman Powell. And don't forget to get it to Big Zeus too. All right, here we go. It's Carlo Jimenez on the call for the Clippers and Suns from Footprint Center, and tip-off is next right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.